Hey everybody, Sean from Movie Assault here, and it's time once again for another movie review. This time out, it is Kiss of the Damned from 2012. This was written and directed by Xan Cassavetes, who is the daughter of Xan Cassavetes. Here's the back of the Blu-ray. You can see the two stars there, Milo, Ventimiglia, and Joséphine de la Baume. At least that's how she pronounces her name. She's French. This also stars Roxanne Mesquita, who I knew from Rubber, the Killer Tire movie. This is a movie, if you look at this cover, you say, okay, it's definitely a vampire movie. Going to be a horror movie. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to be scared. It's going to be scary. Don't go into it with that kind of mindset, because if you do, you're going to be bored out of your mind. It'll be like watching paint dry. Seriously, it is not a horror movie in that sense. It is not a thrill-a-minute scary movie. It is honestly an erotic, romantic thriller with vampire elements and horror elements in it. I was open-minded when I sat down to watch it. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I bought it on the recommendation of a YouTuber whose name I can't remember. It was a guy who used to watch movies with, or review movies with his daughter, I believe. And I think he's the one that recommended it. But if it wasn't somebody else, some YouTuber recommended it way back in the day and said it was not the greatest film, but it was entertaining. And honestly, if I'm going to sum up this review and you want to turn off the review right now, a minute and 42 seconds in, I would agree with that. It's not the greatest movie ever, and yet it's still very entertaining. The plot is not super original. Joséphine de la Baume plays this woman named Juna. She is a vampire. She's living in this large house in Connecticut by herself. The house does not belong to her. It belongs to her, I guess, vampirous master, or the leader of the Society of Vampires to which she belongs. And she's just staying there temporarily. And she's really lonely. And she makes a trip to the video store. Believe it or not, this movie was made in 2012. There was still a video store in the town in Connecticut where she's living. And she runs across Paolo, played by Milo Ventimiglia, and they sort of exchange eyes, and they strike up a conversation. They go out for drinks. They go back to her place. One thing leads to another. They start to get physical, and she pushes him away because she says she has some sort of skin disease that she can't go out in the sun. But of course, we know she's a vampire. But she pushes him away because she's tempted to turn him into a vampire, and she doesn't want to take on that responsibility. Well, he is super attracted to her, and if you see her in this movie, you would know why, because she's smoking hot. He keeps trying to get back with her. He eventually does. I'm not spoiling anything because that's the whole crux of this movie. You can see them. They're together on the back. And she turns him into a vampire. What the crux of the movie is her sister Mimi, who's played by Roxanne Mesquita, comes into the picture, and she's sort of off the wall. She is violating the Society of Vampires code of conduct. She likes to hunt and kill humans, whereas the rest of the society is against that. And of course, problematically, Juna turning Paolo into a vampire is a problem as well, but they sort of deal with that in the film too. But there's a lot of erotic scenes. There's a lot of tastefully done. It's not like a porno movie or anything, but there's erotic scenes. There's sex scenes. There's a little bit of gore. Michael Rappaport is in this film playing Paolo's agent because he's a screenwriter. He's trying to work on a script. There's mostly it's just those three, though. It's Joséphine de la Baume, Milo Ventimiglia, and Roxanne Mesquita. They make up the main focus of the film. And I have to say, like I said, the plot isn't super original. The acting is merely adequate. I had to turn the subtitles on because everybody who's not Milo Ventimiglia and Michael Rappaport speaks with a heavy French accent most of the time, and it was hard for me to understand what they were saying. I'm not taking anything away from the movie because of that, because that might have been an environmental thing where I was watching the movie that I just couldn't hear correctly, and I couldn't turn the volume up as loud as I would have liked, and I couldn't watch with headphones on or whatever. So that's not a strike against it, but just put that on your awareness list that some of the dialogue may be hard to understand without subtitles if you're watching in a similar environment. But yeah, if you go in not expecting a thrill-a-minute scary movie and go in expecting an erotic thriller, this is kind of like a high-class Cinemax movie from the 90s. It's entertaining smut, and there's nothing wrong with that if you know what you're getting yourself into. I didn't, and I still enjoyed it. The cast is easy on the eyes, which makes it very easy to watch and consume, for lack of a better word. The visuals, the director of photography, whose name escapes me, I'll put it below, does a great job with the visuals. It's very stylish. The soundtrack of the score sounds very European. That whole atmosphere of the film is very European, and the soundtrack and the score reminded me sort of like late 60s, early 70s at times, sometimes venturing into the 80s when they play some rock stuff. But it definitely doesn't seem like a product of 2012 other than the technology used to film it. Even the titles look like they're from the late 60s, early 70s. When the titles came up on the menu when I put the Blu-ray in the player, I thought it kind of reminded me of a early 70s Hammer film. So I really don't have anything negative to say about the movie. Like I said, the acting is not fantastic. The plot isn't super original, but you know, it's entertaining, and I had a good time with it for 90-some minutes. The cast is appealing. The cast looks great with little to no clothes on, and it's an erotic thriller. There you go. It serves its purpose, and it knows what it's trying to do, and it has a vampire angle to it. There's a little bit of gore, nothing too scary. It's rated R for bloody violence, strong sexual content, nudity, language, and some drug use. And that's funny because I don't remember any drug. Oh, I do remember drug use. There was a little bit of drug use, yeah. But yeah, what more can I say other than I'm giving it a 6.5 out of 10. So thanks for picking me. Thanks for picking this from the poll that I had. I had this up against Tormented from 1960 and 13 Minutes from 2021, I believe. And I know it was probably hard to choose from those three because they're not exactly movies that you would know right off the tip of your tongue. So I'm going to go back to more recognizable movies for next week's poll. So thank you very much for pushing me to finally watch Kiss of the Damned, which has been on my watch list for a number of years. I remember, I can't remember the YouTuber, but a YouTuber recommended it as sort of an offbeat movie to watch if you're looking for something different. And I'll do the same. So 6.5 out of 10. Kiss of the Damned. Check it out if you're looking for something a little different. And there you go. So if you made it this far, thank you for your attention span. As always, thank you for subscribing. If you haven't done so already, please do. And click the notification bell to get notified when a new video drops, because I'm making videos a lot more frequently than I used to. Hopefully that's a good thing for some of you. And as always, take it easy. See ya.